Hey everyone, it's Mark here, and today we are joined by Eran Gunaydin from Tailcraft. He is the co-founder and director of business development, and we are gonna talk about the project and get into its impact in Avalanche and some of the interesting things they have going on around the NFT space and the game. And there's a lot to cover here, and so I've been excited to talk with you and get something recorded because there's a lot of interesting things about Tailcraft at this point that I think sometimes don't come across or get missed in the bigger picture of the game. Everyone's very excited about the game, and the game's great, and games are very cool right now, but there's some interesting stuff happening around the economy of the game that's going to be useful for not just your project, but other projects, and maybe even the broader NFT ecosystem. So before we get into all of that, I just want to talk about your background. Let's get a picture of who you guys are and how you got into crypto. How did you and the team get here building Tailcraft today?
Okay. First of all, hello. And secondly, I want to say that how really proud I am to be here today with you and with you guys. I'm Eran Gunaydin, co-founder and direct director of business development of Tailcraft. And I'm a young lawyer who didn't even have time to finish the internship after the school, to be honest. And I was always interested with crypto, just like my team. And me and most of main members of the team we known each other for years. With the NFT hype in the market, and we found something that we believe an absence in the crypto world. And we found that idea in one of our daily chats, sorry. And we decided to focus on it. And then we talked about our idea and updated it day by day. And this process was nearly 4 months before even we just started to do this project.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's been like 4 months too. We've been working on it. We are trying to build a community, something for us.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah, that was it was going to be part of my next question, is just kind of understanding like this is a project that we're going to do and we're going to put it out there, kind of the timeline around the thinking and the building and the planning. And so 4 months, it's a meaningful amount of time to sit and consider before saying, hey, this is a good path forward, and this is where we're going to go build. And so there's a lot happening in the NFT space right now. Obviously there's been a progression, and it started years and years ago. OpenSea just kind of sitting dead on the market for a long time, although now it looks like they were onto something. And then NFT drops, and the integration of these things into social applications and games, and just this crazy culture. And it's a pretty exciting time, actually. And I'm just curious, because you and your team look at this stuff really closely. What are the innovations, do you think, that are happening like today in the NFT space relative to kind of where we started?
Well, first, I must confess that 1 or 2 years ago, if someone said that NFT world is going to be this big, I would laugh probably.
Yeah.
But right now, it's evolved into a huge economy, and it's being integrated our world every day with metaverse and so much other things else. And I believe in the future, we will even hear more than today about NFTs. And I think we must be prepared for the future. So we don't have a chance to miss all these innovations if we don't want to left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So Web3 is already the next big thing ahead of us, and every day, um, great and future aiming companies keeps investing in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty excited about it too, and we'll see you together.
Yeah, that's right. We will. Um, and then there's the game, the board game.
Mhm.
And again, Tailcraft is a crafting system that deals with a deflationary system to create more sound NFT economics, right? But then we also have this game, which I think is like a demonstration of these economics and what's possible with this type of system. And so one of the things I like to explore with people that are building games is like, why a blockchain based game? Like what does that make possible for you that isn't like possible with more traditional mediums like PC or console or whatever? It's like, what excites you about what you can do with a crypto based game?
I think it's simple, an economic system that everyone can get involved. So right now, old gaming companies making much more complex games than the blockchain-based games, but it doesn't mean that it will be stay like that in the future. So if some player just want to spend his time for his own joy, he will be playing those games right now.
Hmm.
But in the future, I believe players will be able to do it when they're getting involved into an economic system where they can make money from that.
Right.
So I believe blockchain-based games in today's world are just the seeds of the future. So you can contribute into an economy while you're playing Hearthstone, for example. But young and innovative brains will keep creating those economy-based games, and I believe we will compete fun-based games in the future. So basically, you can't earn money with a system that you are involved with in a fun-based game. But with the system that we are trying to create in here,
Hmm.
like many other good projects in Avalanche or uh, the other projects, it's being possible now, and it will be even more possible in the future.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's something I'm seeing more with at least the kind of games that we're focusing on and interested, because there's a lot of different ways to approach what's happening in the gaming industry. But the games that are trying to at least leverage the principles of crypto that I think everyone's kind of drawn to, the ideas of empowering a user, and actually kind of making a difference. There's nothing wrong with a fun game that can make a difference. But when they're using that opportunity to maybe do something that is objectively more good, I think that's not only cool, but a way to make that project game more durable through community, and just being a force for something positive. And so I think it makes sense to talk about the crafting system and the innovations that are happening within it. When we first met, you guys were very, very passionate about what you saw as somewhat of like a not necessarily broken system, but maybe you'd put it that way. I'm not sure, but something that you felt like could be improved, and there was some pretty fatal flaws. And part of the Tailcraft in the base layer of the game, the crafting system, is designed to solve some of this. And I'm hoping you can kind of tell us about that and why you think that crafting system is not just important for Tailcraft, but maybe for other projects to at least consider components of it as well.
Of course, and I love talking about this system, to be honest, because this system is the main thing that we focus on as the team. So
Yeah.
basically, we have created the crafting system to be an alternative to the minting system, because we see minting system doesn't have any sustainable economic system. So
Hmm.
basically, in most of them, someone just says, I just created a NFT collection and I have 10,000 cards. So here, just buy it and sell them to each other. And I don't see any logic system behind that. So I don't see any reason to buy it. We wanted to focus on that while we were creating this system, we believe we are creating a system that when someone asks us why to buy it, we can give them a proper answer different than just the NFT hype. So in our system, we are not deciding any floor price. We are not selling our cards in our deck. We want users to find balance of total supply and demand. So if they want an NFT from our deck, then they can just craft it with our guideline by using our elemental cards. So, and here's the deal. um, by opening a chest and receiving an elemental card, they are contributing to the economic system of TaleCraft too. So basically, users are deciding and creating the system themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense, and I just like to see when I've talked about Tailcraft with other people, and after we announced the IDO, we've talked a lot about just parts of the thinking that a team needs to have, whether it's you guys or anyone else. And at least for our part, what we look for is people trying to look at what's been done, look at the pitfalls, because now you have the experience, the benefit of the experience of watching this play out. And so there naturally are components that are working and that aren't working. And so the things that we tend to focus on are just incremental improvements, right? Because stuff usually happens pretty incrementally. And it was one of the things that I really liked about the project. And this system goes on to support a game. And when you're talking about games, there's games are hard and they need to be very, very well designed. And it's an art form and it's a discipline all in its own. Game design is something that people spend years and years doing. And so I want to talk about the crafting system in relation to the game, the leveling system, the elemental features, bringing these things together. Like, how do you go about designing a system like this and making sure it's not just like fun and engaging, but supports also the long-term gameplay and the economics that you're talking about, right? Tell us about that.
Well, the crafting is the symbol for us, actually. The main thing is the economic structure that comes with that. So here's the thing, by opening a chest to craft the cards, players are using our token, and opening a chest reduces the total supply of craft token, but it is not like some other burnings. We are not just burning the token that we have. We didn't create it to burn it before we sell it to anyone. People are buying token and to play the crafting game and the other game modes, just like board game mode, they are burning it. So, but when they do that, they are also being involved into a system that they can earn passive income with our AVAX reward system. So, or they can just use their cards that they just crafted in our board game mode, and they can also get AVAX reward from there too. So, and the main idea behind that is the sustainability. So with our economic structure, it's not just something to create a hype that we can't make it longer.
Right.
The system is sustainable because with the cycle of craft token and our NFTs, the system will be paying those rewards to the users, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I love that component of supporting the health of the project through liquidity, making it sustainable for the users that get in early, and having something there to anchor, right, to support this outside of just like, hey, let's get excited about these pictures. I think it's very, very cool. And a big part of that, excitement, it is important. Community, the excitement in the community about what you guys are doing. This stuff does help drive crypto projects in a positive direction. Our community is very, very important to us. And so when we're talking about, NFTs coming together with community and gameplay, like these are the core of what you guys are doing. So how do you think about it? How do you expect these forces to come together into one to help drive you guys into the future?
Well, actually, I believe our name has an answer for that, Tailcraft.
All right.
Tale part of our name is representing a fairy tale that people can get involved and feel themselves as alchemists that craft some things to discover something new. So we are also working on much more stories and worlds to build around Tailcraft or other DeFi projects to build new packages with Tailcraft by using our crafting technology, which offers them and their community a useful and sustainable economic system, a structure where they can combine their NFT collections with our game modes. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Your guys is like business development, but also emphasis on the larger Avalanche community, connecting with other projects. Like it's been great to see because it's very important here, and it sounds kind of obvious, but I do see this representing a bigger part of the picture in Avalanche, that collaborative kind of spirit. I think that the projects that tend to focus on that and look for the unique opportunities in their project to work with other people and to lift other people up and to have fun together and do creative things together. I mean, I just think I think it ends up being really, really helpful in supporting the things that we love about Avalanche.
Yeah,
Uh,
also they're just so open to make partnerships, make business with the other good projects in Avalanche, and I think that's really, really good.
mhm,
They've been
mhm.
so helpful for us
Yeah,
in each step.
yeah, yeah, and I've witnessed that, and I talk to lots of projects all the time, thinking about where to build or how to build on Avalanche. And honestly, my advice to them, in my shared experience, is pretty straightforward. It's like it's a good place to build because if you want to come here and build something great and make friends and have fun, like it sounds kind of corny, but when you're like a builder on a project, like this stuff matters. Like it's kind of inspirational. It helps the mental state of what you're doing, and ultimately, team's the one doing the project. And so it's the strategy here is pretty simple. It's like do good things, be a good person, work with other people. I mean, ultimately, the technology has to matter, but when that shows up and can actually be impactful to the project, it's I think it's pretty cool. Um, so you talked a little bit about like the crafting system and how it supports the project, but I want to get into like the nitty gritty details so someone can understand. What is what are the crafting mechanics specifically, and how do they support the various aspects of the project?
Okay, let's start from step one. You want to get involved into Tailcraft. First thing you should do is to buy craft token for that. That's step one. Step two, you will use your tokens to open a chest, and half of the crafts that you just paid to receive a chest will be burned, and the other half is going to be added to liquidity. So step three, you received an elemental card, and you will use them to craft a more precious card. So in each step, a little fee will be taken as craft, and those crafts are also will be burned and added to liquidity. So and basically by reducing the total supply of craft, you will be contributing to the tokens economy. And since the elemental cards can only be created with um, chests, um, which you will pay to craft to get that, it will also contribute to the elemental cards economy.
Hmm.
And since the other cards can only be crafted by elemental cards, it will be also contributing to the economy of any other cards of Tailcraft.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. So as the game sees more usage, and as it becomes more popular, the underlying system becomes stronger. This serves the first component, and it's like a very positive, self-reinforcing loop that is like speaks to like a really sound, thoughtful game economy. I love it. I always thought it was very, very, very cool. And we talked just a little bit already about like Avalanche itself, building here. Like I know you guys have actually been a part of the community for a long time, which is one of the things that we like to see. Because if you haven't done that or taken the time to do it, and if you end up wanting to work with us, like typically we ask you to like get known and show that like that's important to you, and you guys had already done a lot of that, and so you got to like check that box, and it's quite nice. So what like attracted your team to Avalanche, like like what is the technology here like make possible in your game?
Well, being fast and cheap, being good. Also, just like our crafting game, also our board game mode is on Avalanche network. So
Hmm.
that's possible because Avalanche is a fast and reliable network. So also since the Avalanche CEO is also Turkish, that's a
Mhm.
little impossible for us.
Yeah.
We are followers of AVAX since day one. And I must say, I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of Avalanche in each step.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Yeah.
Man, I love Avalanche.
Yeah, it's funny because like when we first started building here, our interactions were more with the team based here in the United States. And while knowing Emin was Turkish and all this stuff, it only became really obvious over time, like how much this mattered to the people of Turkey. And at this point, having worked in Avalanche for a long time now, I have like more Turkish friends than I do like U.S. friends, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And like what about the community? Like what do you think is kind of special here about the people, the community relative to maybe other ecosystems that you've had experience with or at least observed?
Well, um, we have been thankful to our decision to create and build this on Avalanche since day one. It's really an unmatched community because of their support and enthusiasm. So
Hmm.
also I must say, they've been asking so nice questions, so good questions that
Hmm.
make me feel like I'm being understood.
Yep.
I feel our work, our project, and the economic structure that we just try to create is being understood by them.
Yeah.
So when I see a good question, I'm being happy about that. I
Hmm.
say, I'm saying that's why I choose Avalanche.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I did like a voice AMA in the Turkish Discord last night,
Yeah,
Mohabit, which you were in
tell-
there. And it's just funny because like really it just totally encompasses and represents the exact thing we're talking about, which it wasn't really planned. It just kind of happened, and it was late in Turkey. And what ended up happening was we had a lot of people in there that were like really supportive and curious and like asking good questions and really understood what we were doing. It became clear that they were paying very, very close attention to the project for a very long period of time. And it's just very like you lose touch with that a little bit. And it's very like flattering that and encouraging that people actually care about what you're doing, and they seem to like it, and it's making a difference like in their lives. The opportunities to be a part of these things early can really make a big difference to people. And it makes a difference to the individual. It makes a difference to the project. It makes a difference to the project's distribution. And so, just we've always like known this, but until it kind of starts happening over time and you prove it and you see it, and then you get some time to see the impact over a period of months, maybe, like it's very validating, and we're just very, very excited about it because it was the kind of thing we always hoped would happen. So I can relate to it a lot. And
you
we,
know,
you know, we go ahead.
sorry. Oh, okay. Everyone in here actually is really hardworking. So when I see you actually like, I know you've been just uh, you haven't sleep like in 16 hours, and I see you in the online, and I'm saying to myself, I should do that too. I can't sleep right now. I, I have to, because everyone in here is just being so hardworking. In our Discord chat, I saw you last night, and it was like 4 a.m. in here, and
Mhm.
so many Turkish people were just waiting to hear from you, to ask you anything. So I can say, yeah, that's the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty spectacular. It makes me really happy. And that's so we're doing the IDO here with you. It's coming up in a few days. And so as we go through that process, what are the plans and roadmap kind of post IDO? Like when can people start to expect to play the game? Like when can they expect what?
Actually, our games are ready for 1 month now.
Hmm.
They're ready, but we just want to be sure that about everything, because we don't want our users to have a bad experience about us.
Right.
So that's why we have started the testnet campaign before our launch, and we updated so much things with the feedbacks from the community. So I can say our crafting game will be ready in the first week of our launch, and we'll publish it, and the board game will be released 1 week after that, because we want people to be ready for our board game mode, and they need time to craft cards, and they need those cards to play the board game mode. So that's why we are planning to give them a week to craft cards to get prepared into the board game. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. And this is a question that I like to ask because it's good for perspective, I think. What is we say the end game, right, for Tailcraft? And what I mean by that is in 2 years, the project's been very successful. You've done everything that you wanted to do. What does the ecosystem that you've created look like?
Well, we have so much work to do. So there's no stopping for us after the IDO. We will be releasing new packages with our partners and approved artists. So our ecosystem will be growing every day. Also, we want to evolve into a platform that people can create, sell, or buy their own NFT collections, and also somewhere they can combine their own collections with our games, with our game modes, not just a game. So we are working on like hyper casual game modes, for example, or we will be updating our metaverse sandbox game, and we will be sure we are doing everything to provide a bigger ecosystem for Tailcraft. So we are just starting, and we won't stop working day and night. I can say that for sure. And we want to focus on our crafting technology to make it using by more NFT projects, more DeFis. We want to focus on Craftable, our platform, and we will create it and update it. Well, I hope it's going to be good.
Yeah. You guys have already come a long way. I know about your plans for the future, and I'm completely confident in your guys' ability to deliver on that and react right to what is coming back over the wall from the market, from the community, with innovations in NFT. And I think this is a very important quality of a team, is to not just have a plan, right, but be dynamic and flexible and pivot and execute on that pivot if necessary. I mean, we've had to do that. Every good project does that, and it takes a certain type of team to be able to do that.
I think we should make ourselves busy with something. If we don't do it as a team, then it means we are not doing it great. We are not doing it good enough. We should be busy, like we should spend our days and nights. We can't stop working, and we need to, it's our mission to create those missions. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, we've covered a lot of ground. I think we've provided some good perspective for people, gotten in one place, which I always like. So I want to thank you for your time. I'm really, really excited about the project. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting week.
Thank you. We'll see.
All right, man. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.